Today I'm talking about a watch from a brand you might not expect to see on this channel. I'm talking about Original Grain. I know, if you're a mechanical watch nerd like me, fashion watch brands like this, they may not be on your radar. But bear with me, this review might actually surprise you. So here's the backstory. One of my closest friends, somebody I've known since I was 12, introduced me to Ryan, the co-founder of Original Grain. Ryan actually sent me one of their watches and we jumped on a Zoom call. He knew I had a small YouTube channel and that I'd be reviewing this from a watch enthusiast point of view. Now, to his credit, he was incredibly open to feedback. We talked about micro brands that he knew and some that he didn't, big Swiss names, and how Original Grain could evolve to appeal to enthusiasts and collectors like you and me. He even said himself, "Look, I know we're a fashion brand, but it's clear they're starting to look beyond that, and that's where things get interesting." It reminded me of what Shinola and Jack Mason have done. Brands that started more fashion-oriented, but gradually moved up market. Original Grain might be on that same path. So let's take a look at the watch Ryan sent over. This is part of their military surplus line. This is the stone-washed automatic watch. I've handled a lot of fashion watches that feel like AliExpress dropships, but this, not even close. This thing feels rugged, hefty, and extremely well built. It did surprise me, but in a good way. First though, we have to talk about the movement. This is a skeletonized Seagull ST1701 inside. Yeah, it is a Chinese movement, and that would not be my first choice as an enthusiast. There's no hacking, and parts might be hard to find. I don't even know if you could get this watch serviced if something goes wrong. But let's be honest here. Visually, it looks great. For somebody who's new to watches, it's extremely eye-catching, and that's kind of the point. It's a statement piece. Ryan and I talked about swapping in potentially Miyota's or Seiko movements in the future to add reliability. He was totally on board with that feedback. Now let's take a look at the case. Here's where this gets cool. The watch is built using reclaimed ammo cans and crates. Now, as a Marine Corps combat veteran, that gives it a serious cool factor in my book. But let's talk about the specs. It's 44.2 millimeters in diameter. It's pretty thin for what it is at 12.6 millimeters thick. It has 48.5 millimeter lug-to-lug distance, which isn't bad, 22 millimeter lug width, and it's got a sapphire crystal with AR coating, which I believe is on the outside. And on the back, it's got a mineral glass display case back. Now, I believe the watch wears better than the size suggests. Thanks to the DLC or, dark coating that this watch has, and its lug design being only 48.5 millimeters, on the wrist, it feels more like a 41 or 42 millimeter watch. To me, it feels very similar to a Seiko SKX, which many of us are familiar with. I own two of them. Now, the bezel is non-rotating and it's fixed down by these hex bolts. I think it's more aesthetic than functional, but I haven't tried to take them out. There's a differently finished ring underneath the bezel, which is a nice touch. I wish the case, it had sharper chamfers and a mix of finishings, but I get the rugged look that they're going for. Now, the crown is only push-pull. It has this nice knurling, which has the Original Grain logo, but I did tell Ryan a screw-down crown would go a long way towards credibility in our community. The case back, well, like I said, it's see-through with a mineral glass, but it's got basic info engraved And it has this nice quote, "For time well spent." I like that. Now, as far as skeleton dials go, this one is surprisingly legible. The lume, it fades rather quickly. And there are no minute markers between the indices, so setting time precisely is a bit tricky. The second subdial is at 6 o'clock, and overall it leans more towards aesthetics than practical. But then again, this watch is a statement piece. Now, bonus points for the American flag under the original grain logo. I appreciate that personally, though I understand it might not be appealing to everybody listening to this video. Now, let's talk about the bracelet. This is kind of where it lost me. It's heavy. The bracelet alone is 105 grams. The watch head is only 74 grams. There is no taper in the bracelet. It's just 22 millimeters straight across. And it's got these really chunky links. The clasp, it is pressed. It has a double deployment button or buckle. It's functional, but it is far from premium. Center links, they do match that under bezel tone, so that is a nice touch. The split pins are something, they're, it's normal for this price point. And also the bracelet doesn't have fitted end links, which that's a big no-no for me. I love it when the bracelet actually connects directly to the case with fitted end links. So I swapped the watch and I swapped out the bracelet to this leather strap. It made a huge difference in comfort and wearability. Now, I told Ryan directly, look, give your watches stainless steel cases. Give it some brushed and polished mixed finishes. Japanese or Swiss movements. Taper the bracelets dramatically if you can. Give the watch a screw down crown. Give it a rotating dive bezel or a timing bezel for us. These are little things that we as enthusiasts care about. But now I want to hear from you. Drop your feedbacks in the comments below. Ryan, I know, is watching this video and reading exactly what you write. So let's be constructive. Let's give him real insights from real enthusiasts like you guys, because they're listening. The watch itself retails for $449, but I've seen it discounted to $334. For what it is, and especially for gifting, I think that's a fair price. They've got cool limited editions with brands like Coors, Jack Daniels, Ford, and others. For somebody who isn't deep into horology, but loves those brands, I think that's an awesome gift. You know, one of my buddies who lives down the street, one of my closest friends, he owns a Tag Monaco, but he also has a bunch of fashion watches in his watch box. He dresses for the occasion, and he loves whiskey. I guarantee you, if his wife got him a Jack Daniels branded original grain watch, he would love it. But look, we're not original grain's target market, at least not yet. But I believe if they make the right moves, upgraded materials, better movements, enthusiast-friendly specifications, they have a real shot at catching our attention. So let me know. Do you think a brand like Original Grain could win you over if they evolve? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Now, if you made it this far, let me introduce myself. My name's Blake. I'm a bit of a watchaholic, and I figure if you made it this far in this video, you're a watchaholic too. So make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because I do a lot of reviews here, and I want to thank you for watching. So, thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.